ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beer 2 of the D1 DLC Beercast. It is only Beer 2, I swear to God. Brad, Nat, Ben, we're back for a second round. You've done well, Ben. You got through a whole beer.
I'm ready.
All right. Unleash. Tell us about Rise and Fall.
Yeah, so...
Rise and Fall, that's what it's called?
I've been playing a little bit of Civilization 6 because there was an expansion released called Rise and Fall.
So how does it get called an expansion rather than DLC? Like, that makes it sound like it's more proper.
It is. It's a significant change to the way the game works.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't looked at the expansion yet?
No, not in detail.
So
I know there's something to do with religion. Like you could found your own religion, or could you do that anyway?
No, you could do that in the last one.
Okay, then no, I've got no idea what the...
Cool.
Yeah, I feel like the difference between expansion and DLC is that expansion actually changes the whole game, like what you're going to talk about.
With Civ 5, there were 2 expansions, and from memory I played vanilla Civ 5 and then waited until the second expansion because I played some other stuff in the middle and then got both the first and second expansion at once. And so it was like, holy shit, this game's completely different. But with this one, I've obviously only got the first expansion because that's all that's released. It gives you, I want to say, like maybe 8 to 10 new civs to play.
Yeah. So
that's straight up. That's pretty good. They're usually about $5 a pop in a DLC. And
I don't love that as a selling point, Ben. You're putting me off now. I'm like, how many civs are in this game to start with? 20, 30?
Yeah.
So, like, having more civs, like, there are very few people that play every civ.
When you get a DLC for a civ game, it is not just the Civilization, although it does give you access to that. It is Civilization and a scenario. So the scenario is a...
Because I bought the DLC for the Australia DLC, and that had the little Australia scenario, which is quite good.
So in the Australia scenario, you have to try and basically colonise Australia and get to earning as much gold per turn as you possibly can. It's really difficult.
Oh, good. I'm glad you said that. I did not.
It has amazing. It has amazing like random events that happen. Like your settler gets bitten by a snake and dies. Well, I think you loses half his health or something, and it's just like. That's not good.
Sounds about right, though.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate. Right. And I also remember they had amazing orchestral Australian music, Waltzing Matilda, Advanced Australia Fair.
The music...
fantastic.
The music for each civ is so fucking amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
Each one feels like you're playing that specific civ. It's very, very different. It's very... tuned specifically for
and even obviously the research that goes into these games is phenomenal because I know like playing Australia and for those that haven't played Civilization, when you settle a new city you can name it yourself or it pre-populates a name.
Yes.
And so like playing Australia and like one of them comes up like with like Whyalla, which for those that don't know is a fly speck of a town like that way about 400 k's.
And you can use it as a nuclear test site if you want to.
I didn't. And I'll tell you what.
You should have.
That's a bit...
Yeah, I'm going to reinstall.
So, look, I absolutely love the new expansion.
Mm-hmm. So what does it change significantly? So you get new civs, you get a blah, 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 new scenarios. What is it going to... For me, it's going to play Australia again.
Okay. In
the expansion, what's going to be different?
So each age of the game, so you've got your ancient
Bronze
era, and then each age you have a score that you've got to keep track of. So in like the ancient age, discovering with your scout those little huts might give you a point. Settling a new settlement might give you like 3 points, 2 or 3 points. Building like an early district, like a campus or a encampment might give you a point or two.
And the purpose of these points is?
You get a target. excuse me, you get a target that is, if you fail to reach this target, your empire will go into a dark age for the next era. If you get the target, no problem. And if you double the target, you go into a golden age, which is just basically a massive age of enlightenment. It's awesome. You get more loyalty, which is one of the new mechanics for your civilization. And it's just like it's obviously a good thing. What I found was that, at least the way that I played the game, getting maybe the first 1 or 2 eras into into just a normal age, like avoiding the dark ages, was reasonably okay. And then from there I would just basically golden age, and then when I got to modern times, my game style stalls a little bit. And I was just like dark age. And I was like, oh, that's like right at the end of the game. You don't want to be in a dark age, you want to be
lobbing missiles at people, for sure.
Yeah. So basically, at each era, you pick a direction that your empire is going to focus on. So it might be expansion early on in the game. It might be military conquest. But what you get is you get a bonus so that this era score will go up for doing things that focus on that goal that you've chosen.
And so when you choose one, does that exclude you from choosing that again, or you can do it over and over and over? Can you choose military all the way through, or can you only choose military a couple of times?
I think each era you get a choice of 4, and it depends on the era as to what those 4 choices are.
Yep.
So you might get...
and so they're probably more appropriate to the era.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. So fairly early on, I think I noticed there were a fair few of the religious stuff, which seems to become less important towards the more modern era.
Really? Didn't notice that at all.
The military stuff seems to become less important as well, and it starts to focus more on things like great people and on culture and digging up ancient artifacts and that sort of stuff. Gives you more, depending on which way you've chosen to go.
Yep. Makes it a better game?
Makes it a very interesting game, because you sort of like, what I've found is I'm going, okay, well, this era is going to end in 8 turns, and that wonder is going to take me 6 turns to build, so I'm going to do something else for a bit, because I don't want it to end now, because it's not going to get me enough points to go to a golden age.
Yeah.
So I'll delay it a few turns, which might be the difference between me
getting a golden age to the next turn.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or even losing the wonder because someone else has sniped it out from under me.
So let's say someone got is subscribed to the Humble Bundle monthly deal.
Yes.
And just got Civ 6.
Yeah.
Would you recommend to them that they should be playing Civ 6 with Rise and Fall now, or play a bit of Civ 6 as it launched first, get familiar with that, and then add this as a chance to get some more complexity? Because it sounds complex.
Definitely, I would recommend play a few games of the base game first. Just to, I guess, familiarise yourself with a lot of the mechanics. Because
I've played Civ my whole life, and what you're saying, to me, I feel like, wow, this is a lot more complexity that I am used to in a Civ game. So if Civ 6 shipped with this, I might be a little bit like...
No, it sounds like it is, but it's not. It does actually feel very... I think one of the strongest points is it feels very natural as the way you would just normally get stuff anyway. Sometimes you get to the point of, I've got like 10 turns left until the next era, and that's when you go, shit, I don't have enough points, now I'm scrambling. But for the most part, I reckon if you're playing a fairly normal, average game, you're going to hit normal ages all the way through.
Yeah.
The other thing that it introduces, I mentioned before, is this loyalty mechanic where your cities are loyal to you based on how far they are from your capital. So the further they are from your capital, the less loyal, or they might have penalties to their loyalty. And what they've done is they've instituted the mechanic of governors. I think there's up to 7 governors, each one focusing on different areas: military, science, economics, religion. And governors, when they're installed in a city, can boost the loyalty of a city. So if you've got a city that's quite far from your capital, you can put a governor in it. It'll give you extra loyalty per turn, stabilize it a little bit, and then there's obviously the civic cards that you can choose that'll increase it even further.
Yeah.
The successful games that I've played thus far, I've only finished 2 games. I've found that capping myself out at about 6 or 7 cities in a fairly tight cluster seems to work quite well, because I don't have to worry about cities losing loyalty.
Yeah.
When a city does begin to lose their loyalty, they can get to a point where they become a free city. So they are not loyal to you anymore, but they're not loyal to anyone else.
And then obviously you need to crush them.
Well, you have 2 options. You ignore it and just let it go, or you crush them militarily.
Wipe them off the face of the map. That's obviously what you would do, Ben.
So
Tell me that's what you did, Ben.
Well, what I actually found was very good was using the spying mechanics of the game, which were in the base game. I'd send my spies to enemy cities that were at the borders of their towns and drop their loyalty on missions to basically knock them back. And then when it finally, knocks back to a free city, I can declare war on that city without wiping out the entire civ. It doesn't send me to war with the civ because it's a free city now.
That's so smart.
Very sneaky. Very sneaky. I like it.
I found it worked quite well. Especially there was one asshole that decided to build a city right where I wanted to build one.
Sounds like Germany.
I can't even
Every
remember
time
who
I play
it
that
was
game,
now.
Germany
Bismarck.
is such a...
Bismarck every time.
No, it was...
And they always pretend like they're nice too. They're like, no, we want to make
Persia.
peace with you. Blah, blah, blah.
Persia put a city right where I wanted to build a city.
Never had a problem with Persia.
So I dropped their loyalty to nothing. Their city flipped to a free city, and I crushed it and
Took it.
I considered momentarily, just letting it raze, burn to the ground, and then actually building my own city on the ashes. But I figured that I think it had about 8 to 10 citizens in it, and I didn't really want to...
It's more poetic to do that though.
Oh, it is. It is.
Can you still culture cities to you? That's what I did in Civ 5. I just would be like, I have so much culture, come and join me. And the city would be like, sure.
The loyalty mechanic is very, I guess, similar, although it doesn't quite feel quite as strong as that.
Yeah.
If someone builds a city very close to your capital, it will probably be something you can easily do, flip it with loyalty. Because you don't have to crush it militarily. If you have enough loyalty, you can convince them to join you.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask. Is it?
Peacefully.
Yeah, so you can get a free city to join you, not just get another city to leave their civ.
Yes. I haven't done that yet, but I believe that is possible.
That's good.
So, Robert the Bruce, I saw you played.
Yes.
Is there any other big ticket civs? Did they get anything else? Obviously, I would, and honestly,
Genghis Khan.
If I was,
That's a good one.
That's another one.
How
I'd be a bit
is that not
dirty
in the core
that wasn't
game?
in the original. Yeah. 30 civs. It's not like you're missing out or anything.
No.
So
But Genghis Khan.
I know, right? That it is such a classic civ character.
I think the big one that people are saying they can't understand isn't in there at the moment is either the Carthaginians or the Ottomans.
Yeah, they're both fickles.
So,
But Australia's there, so
Well, I was going to say we normally don't.
I know,
we
it's
don't
so
get
good,
reps,
isn't it? It's so good.
But so one of the I've played 2 games to completion. As I said, played as Scotland with Robert the Bruce as the leader of that, and that was actually really interesting. So they have bonuses to science and production, as long as the cities are happy. And so I just basically made everyone as happy as possible and sat back and launched a spaceship.
Nice.
It was actually quite funny because towards the end, people just declared war on me, and I'm just like, well, I'm a couple of turns away from a science victory, so I'm just, fuck you guys, I'm
Yeah,
off to
whatever.
Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm Elon Musk, mate. Whatever. Catch
Pretty
me.
much.
Catch
I
me.
always hate that. Like, they start clawing on, you're winning, and then they're like, "Oh, we'll try and crush you." And you're like, "But you can't. It's too late. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
Um,
Like, I do that every now and then. You know, like you see that India has built like 3 wonders in a row. You're like, well, now I'm going to have to mess you
Yeah.
up. Like, I'm sorry, but
the other Civ that I've played to completion was, I believe it's a new one. It's the Cree, which is a Native American Civ that was.
there was a bit of a news article about them.
So I believe they were mainly in Canada, in IRL, and their leader is Poundmaker. Oh, I never heard of before, but I had a quick Wikipedia read and seems like a pretty interesting dude.
There was a bit. There was some people came out and spoke against their inclusion in the game.
Oh, why?
Yeah, they didn't like them. Oh, look, I think it's because the same reason that people didn't like that Adelaide video game, the P-Platers.
Oh, okay. They made assumptions about.
Yeah, because they
what
were
it
ill-informed
was.
and stupid, pretty much.
That's
But
a
it was
shame.
because it was like because it was an option for these civilizations to conquer other civilizations, and that was against their traditional beliefs. And I'm like, look, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Firstly, like, this is made up shit because I played as Australia and we started in 3000 BC
Yeah.
with John Curtin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, this.
Yeah, I
it's-
think you just make up for that by giving them bonuses in other areas.
Yeah.
So you go, well, they're not going to go military, so let's give them
Yeah.
extra whatever.
It was such a load of shit. It was
Yeah.
such a. It was very much like, church pastor upset because GTA something.
I never even thought about that because I played AoE 2 that had the Indigenous Nations expansion that had lots of Native American cultures in it, and
Okay.
I don't remember anything at the time. There might have been though, and because we don't live in America, it just,
Yeah.
And what I saw, the response from people that are also Indigenous was essentially that we've got an option. Like, we can, it's either inclusive or it's not. Like, this is you can't have a culture. Sorry, you can't have a civilization that doesn't have an option to conquer other countries.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
yeah.
It's like saying I want a fighting game, but I want the person like not to fight,
Yeah.
or I want to be.
I want to play as Mother Teresa in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
She's gonna. Or Gandhi.
Smother you in bread
That's it.
by
I'm
accident.
gonna play Gandhi.
Well, you
in
can.
Street
He's like
Fighter.
Dilsum. He's got the stretchy thingies. But anyway. So Rise and Fall's good. You're happy.
Love it.
You're happy. How
Absolutely
much
love
is
it.
the expansion?
I should know that, but I just waved my credit card and
Ah.
it
Didn't even
appeared.
check.
Yeah.
I was always gonna buy
I
it.
do have a
See,
question.
we need a fact checker. This is what we need.
Yeah.
I reckon it's about 30 to 50.
Ooh.
But it's
Someone
worth,
get your phone out and check. Get your phone out and check.
yeah,
I need
it's
to know.
worth
I need
it.
to know.
It is well worth.
30 to 50.
Yeah, no, it's worth it. It's
It does sound like a different.
It is. It is.
game.
Oh, look, it
is-
does sound good,
Yeah.
but you could get like High Night and Expand and Hacknet for less than that.
You could,
3 completely different, amazing games.
but is a turn going to take the same length of time it would take to finish all those games?
High Night, maybe.
Yeah, well, the I guess the thing that you would have to think of for this is a game that I'm going to put a fuck ton of time
Yeah, I
into.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it is well, for me at least, is well
For you,
worth
yeah.
whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
30 US.
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad you said 30.
Yeah.
If it was 50,
I still would have bought it. Like,
I know you would have, but like for humans, that's expensive.
Yeah, like I can't ever see myself playing it enough for me to go.
Did you ended
"It's
up
enough."
getting the Humble Bundle?
Yeah, so I got the Humble Bundle, but yeah, same as I spoke about last time.
Yeah.
I turned it on and went, I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
I will. I'll, like, whenever I have my next holidays, I'll make sure I get a playthrough because I do love Civ games, but I can't make time for a day to day at the
Yeah.
moment. It's just-
It does take over everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
I found so I mentioned last time. I've been playing a game called Stellaris.
Yes.
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 Which I'm still playing very casually because I don't have a whole lot of time, and it's about all I played. It's Civilization, but it's a space game, and
They have a space civilization.
yeah, I shouldn't say it's not like it's a 4X game, but it's
Right.
not like Civilization. There
Right.
are significant differences, but it's got the micromanagement. You can see the similarities. You can see it's got that whole nucleus of it, but it's not turn-based. It's like
real time?
It's real time, but it's pausable.
Ah.
So so anything happens, it pauses the game for you automatically, and then
Like Baldur's Gate.
You make a little bit like that. But anyway, it's funny playing a game that's pausable rather than turn-based.
Mm-hmm.
I find this game a lot easier to stop playing, and I reckon it's because
Not
once
one
you-
more turn.
once you're in a turn in Civilization,
Yeah.
you're not going to finish halfway through.
Yeah.
No.
Like that's just stupid, right?
No,
You're not gonna move 129 of your 342 units and then go, I might just stop there.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna finish the turn,
And you're going to hit
and then
next
you're just
turn.
gonna see what happens. Like and then you're gonna go, oh, just discovered I better change my research now.
Yeah,
And then,
see, that's
I'll
the
just
trick,
move
isn't it?
that there.
Yeah.
The trick is that you say, oh, well, I'm just going to hit the next turn button. I'm going to wait for it to load,
And then I'll go.
and then I'll save and get off.
Yeah, but
But
something
it's-
happens.
Something will always happen. Oh, I've just finished that.
I wonder if that's
Oh, that's just
intentional.
completed
Yeah.
construction.
Do you think that it is? Like the game designers
I
have
don't
gone
know.
like, bang, let's make a pop-up come up.
I don't know,
It's
but they
like
have perfected
digital-
that art.
Digital crack.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I just want... I want to stop playing so I can sleep, but
Yeah.
I can't.
And I find with Stellaris, I am much easier able to just go, pause,
Save off.
save, go.
Oh, that's what I want to ask. Civ didn't used to have like an autosave. Do you know if it has an autosave?
It
I
does.
thought, hasn't Civ
but-
always had an autosave? Don't
I
know, like
thought-
always
Maybe
at
not.
the end of every turn, I reckon
Alright.
it saves.
Alright, I could be
No,
wrong.
I reckon it's at the end of every 10 or 20 turns
Is it?
possibly. But
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
Because what you need to do is rig your PC up to one of those timers that automatically shuts the power off. So you just turn it to like
that would be
midnight
that would,
and then
no.
It's a good idea, but I just want to see what happens though. I can't.
Yeah.
I think you have a problem, Ben.
Well, you say problem, and I say
No, passion.
I can quit whenever I want.
I'm
No,
looking
it's
forward to you being done with this because I want you to check out Stellaris.
Look, I've had a chat to a couple of mates since the last
Yeah.
the last podcast about Stellaris, and I'm hearing very good things. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to pick it up when it was cheap in the Humble Bundle. So
I'm pretty sure we've got a Steam sale just about to start. So.
yeah, well, and that's it.
Grab it for $10, put it on the back burner, and when you get around to it.
Yeah.
But very good game if you're into Forex games. You too. No? And again, I find it much easier. And it's funny. I find it a very relaxing game to play. Like
Yeah.
I'm on my 4th game now and have lost horribly every game I've played. But I
Okay.
don't know. Like the music is really nice, and the music. It's a huge part of this game. Is I
Yeah.
really dig the music. And I feel quite relaxed when I'm playing this game.
Oh, that's
I
good.
want to reiterate how much I really like the music in Civ.
Oh, I think
Because
and-
it is so immersive.
Yeah.
I'm playing Scotland and it's playing fucking bagpipes.
Yeah.
And it's
it's the highest praise, and I'd never realised it until we had Australia as an option.
Yeah.
How incredibly well researched it is, and maybe if you don't want to conquer places, maybe not, but how culturally. I mean, a caricature of your culture, but
Yeah.
still culturally correct. You know, like Australia is, you're bitten by snakes, and there's a gold rush, and like the music is waltzing Matilda, and all those things. They're just fantastic. Absolutely love them. Like the unique units is perfect. I think for Australia, it's the light horseman or something like that.
That's the digger.
Yeah.
And the digger,
Yeah.
yeah, that's like it's, and I really appreciated that. That made, for me, that's ruined civilization. Like I can only play as Australia. Now. I can't play as anyone else.
Yep.
So,
Team loyalty.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about coding.
Oh yeah.
Nat, coding
Well,
like a
now
girl.
you're the expert.
Now that I am the expert, it's my 3-screen game.
So there's a group called Code Like a Girl. They're an Australian organisation that basically recognised that there's not a lot of women in the industry, and they wanted to make sure that it was welcoming and give opportunities to women to develop in the area. So mostly based on the East Coast, but they had their first event here in Adelaide.
Is it just based on the East Coast or is it international as well?
So I don't know if the organisations are linked. I don't think that the Australian Code Like a Girl is connected to internationally, but I will fact check and get back to you. But it was really great. They had 3 guest speakers, and they were really, the focus of the event was talking about challenges you can have entering the industry and, you know, how to get into it, essentially. So they had somebody who came from a graphic design background talking about how they're leading major IT projects for the government, which is great. So that's Karen McGarity, I think. And she was great because my background's health as well. So her talking about working on health projects and how every person on the team contributes to projects like that. There was a research scientist who's gotten into coding and written all these amazing apps on how to help people that are going through IVF. So that was really cool. And then the last woman, she was talking about how she fell in love with coding as a kid. She had a teacher that helped them program a little mechanical turtle to walk around based on commands on their PC. So this was like 20 years ago.
My teacher did not teach me that.
Amazing teacher.
The actual mechanical turtle or just a turtle on a screen?
No. So there was the turtle on the screen. He interfaced
I remember doing that.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. She said what it was called and I can't remember. But there was that game. The teacher actually got jillions of cables and hooked it up to this mechanical turtle he made so that the inputs on the screen would relate to the turtle on the ground.
That teacher who I've never met is my hero.
Oh, so good.
That's amazing.
It's so amazing. So she was talking about the value of being a mentor. So because she started that, she went and did engineering and that didn't work for her and ended up come back to coding and just saying you don't realise the impact you can have on people. So, you know...
Can I just take a moment there to just again point out that the teachers out there that are inspiring the kids to do awesome shit.
Hats off to them.
Hats off to them.
Yeah.
There's plenty that call it in, but...
There are, sadly, but I mean...
it's like any job.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to forget how impressionable kids are.
Yeah.
Kids are, how people are at that age. And I think that it's something that you lose from a child going through to adulthood. When you're young, you remember those people that inspire you.
Yeah.
When you're in a workforce, you just remember the people that drag you down. You know, like it almost feels like that. And I think the teachers have an incredible capacity from a simple word here, you know. They can change a whole person's life. That's a remarkable power.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it was 200 women, all just in different phases of their coding career. So me doing like
how many?
200.
200.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then there was 3 or 4 men there as well in the crowd. But it was just this amazing kind of bonding, networking experience. Like, was talking to the person next to me who's does. I'm thinking of the wrong word. Interpreting's for verbal, but when you're translating. Yes, she's translating. Thank you. Thank you. She does.
Right, I'll translate your thoughts.
Thank you.
Words.
And she was talking about how she can see her interest in coding being put to work in her industry and where she's working, and that's why she wants to develop skills in that area. So
I spoke to a lady at AVCON that was making a game about how to learn Japanese and how to learn kanji.
I spoke to a lady at PAX that was doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hang on, was it a video game or a...
No, it was a video game. Yeah.
Was it an app?
No, she had it in the indie hall
Indie
at
games AVCON.
AVCON.
I swear to God, the year before I spoke to someone at PAX that was doing the same thing.
Yeah, that was really good. But yes,
you need to fact check. I need to know. But so great event. Sorry, I've been totally sidetracked. Our friend AJ bought a card game at the last PAX, which teaches you how to play Japanese. Teaches you to speak Japanese. So it's a battle card game.
Yeah.
So you can play it collaboratively or against each other. If you're playing against each other, you have a deck of cards and you have to form sentences with the cards that you put down. Okay. So each card has a word or a phrase or it's a conjunction or something like that. So you play down your beginning sentence and then every turn you have to add to it. Yeah. So you use your conjunctions and your adverbs and additional words to grow the sentence, and whoever has the most points wins. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. Sorry, I've diverged.
No,
there.
I love that because gaming's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, honestly, you put anything in a game. I certainly knew Ben before a long time ago. Nowadays I'm obsessed with running. Like I'm a nut with it. And I used to be a fair bit bigger than I am now and couldn't run at all because I would die. And I literally gamified that. Like I was like, so this is the level, and I put it in WoW terms. It was like when I can run this far, I'm at the level cap. And then when I can do this, it's like doing high-end dungeons. And when I do that, that's like a high-end raid.
Isn't that amazing?
And like just these little things in your head. And one of the things I listened to was an app called Zombies Run.
Yes. That is the best app
it's
ever.
The best app. It's
oh my
so
god!
good.
I used to use that on the treadmill in the gym because I had my big headphones on.
Yeah.
I'd hear the grrr, and I'd be like, ah.
Yeah, it's amazing. If you can find a way to gamify something. It will, and it's one of the, so you're talking about coding, and I've been doing this course, and to me, I never thought this would be the case. I had no idea. I fucking love coding, like not making assets, not moving shit around. I love the coding part because it's like a logic game, and that's what it is to me. It's a logic game, and I love that shit. You know, and that's what it's. Yeah, so once you gamify anything, I reckon you could teach anyone anything if you gamify it enough. It's fantastic. So it's funny you talking about the variety of people that were there in the speakers, because in my mind, as soon as you talk about code like a girl, I'm like, well, obviously video games.
Yeah.
Like, what else would you code?
Yeah, no, but a huge range of disciplines and a lot more practical applications rather than just having fun, which was, sorry, I shouldn't just say it like that. Just having fun.
Here we are, like, gamify it. It's great. You're like, just having fun.
Yeah. No, sorry.
Easy, mum.
But it's amazing what people are doing and breaking it down to a room like that. Probably, they got people to put up a show of hands of how many people were at the beginning of their journey with coding and getting involved in IT versus other people, and 3/4 of the room put their hand up.
Yeah.
So it shows the massive growth in the industry and interest of women getting involved. So, we're coming.
So where does it leave you then? Where are you now? So you went to that. You're all inspired.
Yeah, it's like whenever I go to
this is the best thing ever.
Whenever I go to a sports event and I'm like, I'm going to do that sport and be the best at it, and then no. Well, I've got my coding commitment to you, so I'm meant to be beginning coding some point this month, because we said February. So I've got a Unity course as well.
Yep.
So I'm going to restart that and work through that, although I'm liking the game you made, and I'm wondering if maybe I should jump ship to a different course. Because my course didn't have that in it. Yeah,
it's the same people, but I think this might be the latest version of it.
Yeah.
Although I reckon they on Udemy, and so this is like Udemy. I don't know if you've seen Udemy before, Ben.
No.
So Udemy is like an online course thing, and it's got online courses for everything, like how to perform home maintenance, how to run a project, how to look after your budget, how to everything.
How to check the oil in your car?
Yeah.
Probably.
Car maintenance.
Although I could probably do that one.
I can teach you that one.
I said there's like how to check the oil in your car. You stop at the 15-minute oil check place on the way home, get out, go to Macca's while they check your car, come back, done.
Don't you just lift the hood and pull the thing out and go, oh yeah, and put it back in?
Look at us, busting gender stereotypes, hey?
Sorry. It's like the only car thing I know how to do.
I take my car in to get it service.
Yeah. Once every 4 years they go, why didn't you do this sooner? I'm like,
no, they put a little sticker up on the windscreen.
Yeah, which I ignore for free.
I went out and bought a new car last year. And so,
I've got an old car.
But it's included, right? So the price included.
Well, the sticker came free with the car, telling you when to get it serviced. That's fair. What a bargain. That's amazing. Udemy, all these online courses. So the course I'm doing, I think I got it in the Black Friday sales last year.
Yeah, they have great sales. So even around Christmas as well.
Almost endlessly. So if you want to do something different, and look, I'm a 38-year-old bloke and I've just started coding for the first time. You can do this. You can make these changes. If you're going to something like Udemy to learn how to do it, wait for a sale, because it's like literally 2 days. This course will cost you $299, and then for the next 3 months, it's like $14.
Yeah.
So
if you're paying more than $15, don't. Yeah. And I think that your first course, that there's a massive range for your first course, which is cheap as well.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. So
definitely get on.
I'll send you the details of what I'm doing, but then we're so then what are we gonna do? We're gonna make a big games company. We're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you match my pay?
Well, your pay will be the same as my pay. How's that?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. So
I might need to keep my day job
We can have
for a
exactly
while.
half a fuck all each, alright?
It's just when we start putting endorsements in the game already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like that mobile thing, like buy 27 crystals if you watch this ad.
Yes.
Sell loot boxes.
Loot boxes! Who doesn't love loot boxes? Hey, I'm a huge fan. Should we leave it there?
I think that.
So hasn't-
we've deteriorated enough.
That's the stage to leave it. All right. Thank you very much for watching, listening, whatever you are doing. I've been Brad. That's been Nat, and that's been Ben. Probably be the same
Goodbye.
next time. Goodbye. Yes. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. All the appropriate plugs out now. We have been at
Harry's Bar. Harry's on granville.com.au. I think that the balcony bar that is outside is absolutely beautiful. I'd love to record out there, but sadly, the wind outside makes it.
Yeah, I would like
slightly,
to. I'd like to do that one day. It'd be fantastic. Particularly, we should just do a walk around with the.
Oh,
Camera
yeah,
one
yeah,
day.
yeah.
Yeah.
By we, I mean someone else, because I'm very busy making incredible games. So.
Yeah, well, fair enough. You
All
could
right.
make a. You should like.
Make a
Make a
VR
game.
game of Harry's Bar.
Yeah.
A VR game.
Yeah. Dating sim.
A dating.
Everything happens in Harry's Bar.
Oh.
If you end up with them, you have to raise your kids.
And it
here.
would work too because there's like 3 levels. There's the balcony, so you've got all these different rooms.
Yeah.
Here we go. We're away now, folks. I feel like, look, if you're still listening after the last 2 minutes, you are a trooper. Well done. We're gone. Say goodbye.
Ciao.
It's going to be awesome.